Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Welcome back to another episode of the show, and today we're talking about two episodes from Star Trek, the original series. In this case, we're talking about the episodes Metamorphosis and the other episode, Journey to Babel. Let's go ahead and look up the first one, which is Metamorphosis. In this episode, a shuttle crew from the Enterprise encounters a man out of history and has, along with his mysterious alien companion. And by the way, this is the first mention of and first appearance of Zechram Cochrane. He would actually appear in Star Trek: The Next Generation and Star Trek: First Encounter. What do I actually think of this episode? Well, I gotta say, visually, I think this one is great. It looks visually colorful, and one thing I really like about the classic Star Trek is in the fact sometimes some episodes could be rather colorful with its use of imagery.
Bones, get a physiological reading on that, whatever it is.
And all that. And I like this episode in the fact, say, we get some more bit of history of, how space travel was actually first, accomplished in a way would be a word. So there's that. I actually like the fact say, hey, although the antagonist is the alien companion to Cochrane, and actually kind of think it's pretty cool the fact say, instead of it's like a visual form, like a physical form, it is a electrical mass that is just will come whenever he just says, hey, can you come by? And I like that. I like in the fact this idea of say electrical thing, basically mass, basically is trying to say, hey, I love you and I'm giving you this power to stay young. And I actually kind of think everybody in this episode does a really good job. I think the Enterprise crew's ability to try to say, hey, we need to get off this rock, because if we don't get off this rock form, we could, fade away, and so could, our companion, she could fade as well. And I also kind of think it's pretty cool the fact that in this episode we have the three crews of Spock, Kirk, and Bones all together. So I think that's really cool. And actually kind of like the reveal, honestly, say the fact that the companion basically takes the basically goes into the subconscious of. It's honestly pretty cool in the fact say it takes subconscious of Nancy, and basically says, if I leave this planet, I cannot, stay around. And I actually kind of think that's an interesting idea of, say, say a person or friend that says, say, I like you and all that and love you, but the only way they can, but they'd have to be near you and all that. but at the same time, I don't know. It's a little bit of classic science fiction, I'd say. But honestly, I think it's pretty good, and the fact especially the fact that it delves into more ideas of science fiction, I guess. But I actually kind of found this episode pretty good. Let's move on to the next one, which is Journey to Babel. So basically, in this episode, the Enterprise is tasked with transporting dignitaries to a diplomatic conference. Basically, this episode is special because it has the first appearance of Sarek and Amanda, basically the parents of Spock, and introduce two species, the Andorians, the Tellarites. And I gotta say, this episode is really good, especially with its emotional beats. Like in the fact that, most of the times we know, like Mr. Spock, we know he is a Vulcan. We have an idea that he has a family. But at the same time, like, we don't really know about, like, say, others in the Vulcan race. So, there's that. But for once, we see, like, we know, like, his mother is human. So, we get this human aspect of, like, say, okay, his father gets hurt, and suddenly he needs a blood transfusion. But Mr. Spock, being such dedication to his crew, his job, and all that, is trying to say, my job says this, and all that. And basically, and I gotta say, especially the sequence with his mother and all that, that's really good. Both Nimoy and Janet White, they do a phenomenal job off each other. And I gotta say, especially in this episode, like when he's like talking to his mom, like when she says, "You need to go to him."
Go to him now, please.
I cannot.
And I feel like, say, anyone who has ever had that moment in their life where they've had to, like, make the tough decision of going to see a relative, a friend who is like, in a bad shape, and there could be last chance of seeing them. This one really drives it home, yeah. And I gotta say, everyone does a phenomenal job. The makeup, especially for the Andorians, is great.
Time to transport ambassadors of Federation planets to this vitally important council.
And honestly, I just think this one is a great episode. Everyone does a phenomenal job. I'm gonna be honest and think, I like this episode to fact, say, this one although it has some humor to it, I like this episode because it feels more of a dramatic episode. And I like that. I think this one does a great job balancing out its humor, its action moments, and as well as the dramatic moments it has. It really sells all the genres that it's trying to do or establish in this episode. So overall, I think this one is a Journey to Babel is a great episode. And I gotta say, I'd say check both of these episodes out. They're both really, honestly, very good. But what are your thoughts on both of these episodes? Put your thoughts and your comments down below. And I'll thank you for watching. I'll see you later.